Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for always returning to watch my videos, and today I'm going to be talking explosively about South Africa's relationship with the United States under Donald Trump. It looks like there's going to be a big showdown between the United States and South Africa. Donald Trump's leadership might hit South Africa very hard, and for me, this is one of the reasons why I continue to say Africa needs to trade within themselves. The entire black population needs to come together to identify where they could have possibilities of intervening and engaging in business with themselves. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has been romancing with Iran, China, Russia, and some of these associations are really not sitting well with the United States and some of the developed countries. So the Republican senators of the United States are beginning to show concern about Cyril Ramaphosa's romance with leaders of Iran, Israel, China, as well as Russia over what's happening in their territories. South Africa has tried to put a posture of neutrality over what's going on between Ukraine and Russia, but their military continue to trade with the Russian army. So what sort of neutrality could that be? And this will affect the economy of South Africa because lots of jobs will be lost, opportunities will be cut off, and the AGOA project, which is the African Growth and Opportunity Act, might lead to monumental collapse of South Africa's economy. Here is how AGOA benefits South Africa, and a lot of African countries that signed onto the AGOA project. The design is to encourage African countries to import goods to the United States 100% duty-free. The shirt I have on is from one of the Southern African countries, Namibia or thereabouts. I bought it because when I saw made in Namibia, I bought it. I've also had other South African products like that. South African products such as automobiles, fruits, and other items may need to begin to look for other markets. The biggest trade partner to South Africa is China, and South Africa has had this romance with China in such a way that even Republican senators have concerns. And you know how Trump feels about China. As we speak, South Africa may be having some tough times if we're not careful with the coming of Trump. So he may need to begin to realign and try to cut down relationships with some of these countries. South Africa is a member of the BRICS nation. The BRICS comprises of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Just recently, South Africa has also given a nod for Iran to become one of the BRICS member states. And you know what? Trump does not want the BRICS in existence. And you know, he talked about ensuring that BRICS nations pay even 100% tariffs on goods and services or thereabout. What may come on South Africa is not what the entire black population wants to see. And this is one of the reasons why the xenophobic behavior of South Africans and other Africans, particularly Nigerians, should be a thing they have to think about now. Because in the long run, we have ourselves to blame and we have ourselves to patronize. The choice is on the table for us to make. Do we pick the way of xenophobia or we pick the way of shared economic prosperity? South Africans have, for the long run, discriminated against other countries, particularly Nigerians. And this is an opportunity for the black population to begin to think of how best to grow their economy. There's quite a lot to gain from partnerships around the world. There's a lot for the black population to do with themselves and to also extend to other parts of the world. I don't think that Africa needs to be in the war of other people. We've been in conflicts with other nations because of some sort of cold wars and some sort of solidarities that really don't pay out in the long run. We don't need to be taking sides between Russia and Ukraine war just because we expect to get grains from Ukraine. We can't throw Ukraine under the bus because we think that the ego of Russia needs to be massaged. We have arable soil within Africa to grow the same wheat, yet we continue to spend billions on importation. And a lot of our resources go out in exchange for food. Why do we think that we need to have other nations dictate to us the way they want? Because we have not done the housekeeping job properly. This is not going to be a good time for South Africa. And Tim Scott and other senators are very influential in the Congress. And I know this is going to be a big showdown for South Africa if South Africa does not retrace her steps. It may be a big situation for Africa as well. And this is an opportunity for Africa to begin to have a rethink as to how best to trade with themselves. We haven't really engaged with ourselves when it comes to trade and commerce. We have left it to other people to dictate for us. And when they are at war, Africa continues to suffer. Just like South Africa might be going in as we speak. And this issue is one that may tear us down a little bit. This particular event is one that will continue to pull Africa down. If South Africa suffers any economic setback, no doubt the entire black population will suffer. We have not really utilized the opportunities that exist. I'm not saying we shouldn't trade beyond the continent, but we need to begin to think of how best to maximize the opportunities that we have allowed China, India, and Russia, as well as other people, to utilize. We have the opportunities to begin to do that today. Only Ghana is working with the diaspora and the way I love to see the entire black population do. Ghana has collapsed its own boundaries, just like Kenya as well as Rwanda. We need to begin to think how best to get out of this quagmire as Africans. It's not really easy, but the 1,000 miles journey begins with a step. And we should begin to understand that the time to start is now. I love to read your comment on this developing event, and I say thanks for watching.